Welcome to Norfolk, Virginia.
But no, the next generation
will express doubt and have worked upside orders for ship. They show up every day.
Welcome into the special presentation. WTOL 11 presents an exclusive look inside the U.S. Navy. I'm Dan Cummins, and thanks for joining us for a look back at my great trip to Norfolk, Virginia to spend a few days in the Navy. I was joined by photojournalist Jordan Swick doing a program called Sailor for a Day, but we flew to the biggest naval base in the world on Monday. Tuesday, we hit the ground running. 7:30 a.m. we were picked up and taken to a store to get size for a Navy uniform. I have always had such high regard for anyone who has served their country. The last few years, that's been the focal point of my television career. I love being around these great young Americans and telling their stories. I was fitted in my Navy uniform for the week, just had to bring my blue shirts to wear underneath and black combat boots, and I met Andre Arthur, a Whitmer High School grad, who showed me the ropes of packing a sea bag the right way. Well, these massive Navy ships cost millions, billions of dollars. So to get the skills to drive a destroyer or carrier, you need what's called mariner skills. Now, here's the training center at Naval Base Norfolk. Officers come here to learn how to navigate on the open sea, rules of the road, seamanship. What's cool about this, it's a simulator, so it's so realistic that controls, the commands teach you officer on the deck, quartermaster, journeyman, several courses to make sure that ship is in good hands with you at the helm. Me? I can't drive a pontoon on a small lake. If you're a naval aviator, if your job involves being in a plane or helicopter, there's something called aviation swim survival training. Everyone has to take it. You learn how to hold your breath, activate a life vest, bottom line, control your stress. In my case, that was impossible. Watch. I guess my plane is going down. I am not a swimmer, but if I'm a sailor this week, I'll do what's expected. Aviation swim survival training. That's got me in a flight suit, helmet, and boots. We did 4 tests. First, swimming 25 yards in heavy gear, side stroke, breaststroke, whatever it took, just get there. And I finally did. Basic swim technique helps. Also not panicking, probably 2 of the most key things with this.
Absolutely, and those are things that we talk about whenever we talk about in our classroom, and that's also why we start in the shallow end and we build up to the dunker. You don't just show up to the pool and we just don't put you in the dunker right away. We do a crawl, walk, run approach to it, and that's exactly what you're going to be doing today. So you'll get to see it firsthand and what that feels like before you get into that dunker.
The hard part for me was shallow water mechanical memory. Yeah, it's that hard. Only in 3 feet of water, but look at it. And shallow water egress trainer. Did not go so well either time. As you just saw, aviators are well trained for the unexpected, but they have what's called Fleet Angels. That's Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 2. They're a team of pilots and swimmers with special skills to rescue people in water or land. They fly in Seahawk helicopters, and we went on a demonstration with these heroes. As a first-time sailor, the gear is my worst problem.
I don't know how this works.
But if I was going to fly with the Fleet Angels, it had to be figured out. They're a helicopter unit, elite helicopter unit that saves lives. Here, taking us out to a nearby base to demonstrate their skills. Elite pilots and swimmers, Fleet Angels. The name says it all.
Basically, we're the search and rescue that would do that. We handle search and rescue. We also train pilots. So this is a training command, FRC. So we're training pilots, training air crewmen, and trying to fix and repair the aircraft all at the same time. So it's a lot of things that we encompass here at HSC2.
One of the fleet angels told me they have the best job in the Navy, rewarding. There is so much to see and do during our time in Norfolk with the Navy. Early on Wednesday morning that week, they took us to meet the talented Fleet Forces Band, musicians who just joined the Navy, and just like everybody else in the service, they had to go through boot camp. Then they were sent to their specialty. 45 musicians who play in a variety of ensembles and perform more than 400 engagements annually. And after that, the story continues as we take you to the Naval Assault Force. The Navy Band serves on the largest base in the world. All talented specialists playing for dignitaries, special events, even touring the world.
A lot of us had civilian success, but there is a different type of reward that you get when being part of an organization like this. I was in the group that did Continuing Promise last year, and we got to deploy to South America and support that mission.
This old drummer got a chance to join in for a patriotic tune. Later in the day, another unique assignment for these sailors, Expeditionary Assault Force 2, always ready during war and peacetime, delivering Marines and their equipment to shore. These ships are 60 years old. One job a sailor must know is firefighting. Of course, we tried that too. In Norfolk, Virginia with the U.S. Navy, Dan Cummins, WTOL 11. If you've followed the Navy past 50 years or so, maybe you've heard of swift boats or riverine programs. They're called the Maritime Expeditionary Security Force now. They provide harbor security, high-value asset security, operations at sea and in coastal waterways. They may be dropping off Navy SEALs on a mission or deployed to take out pirates in the open sea. And they really know how to handle a patrol boat. Bad guys are everywhere. Pirates on open sea, terrorists, whether in harbor at Naval Base Norfolk or all corners of the globe. These sailors operate modern-day swift boats, brown water or coastline. And they drill all the time, letting us shoot 50 caliber machine guns on a simulator, which is what they do as well every day. Here, the crew doing jet boat close quarters maneuvering to stay sharp. Dan Wisman from Cincinnati, an 18-year veteran, on what he does in support of them.
My background is in communications. I'm an electronics technician. I make sure all the comms, radar, and navigation equipment stays up and rocking.
Sam, where have you been deployed to?
I have been deployed to the Middle East a few times, as well as Horn of Africa a few times, and then even South American narco-terrorism deployment.
All right, now we're getting to the good stuff. Submarines. Attack subs are powered by nuclear energy. They are the tip of the spear in wartime. Seek and destroy enemy subs and surface ships. They can launch torpedoes or Tomahawk cruise missiles, special ops, surveillance and recon. I was able to climb aboard the Pasadena, which was in port with its crew in Norfolk. It's longer than a football field. Here's that report. My earliest memories of submarines as a kid was watching old World War II movies. Up periscope, run silent, run deep. This is not that era. This is the USS Pasadena, commissioned in 1989. It's been in port here in Norfolk since the first of the year, really, and they're doing a lot of maintenance on it. If it had to go out, it could in a few days, but for right now, they're looking at decommissioning it. But we got our first look at a real nuclear submarine, got to go inside and meet the crew. Close quarters at lunchtime as 100 sailors all move about the galley in shifts. Takes a lot of patience. I was helping serve the drinks. Everybody rotates working mess duty. Corin Croswell is a 5-year Navy sailor from Ohio.
So the first couple days, you're kind of like in a bad mood, but then after time goes on, you just kind of forget that that's what you're doing, because we keep pretty busy the whole time. I'm either working, standing watch, or sleeping.
This is the torpedo room. Between these and 20 missile tubes, it's a silent attacker during wartime, anywhere needed.
If we were to go to war and we're doing actual reloading, we would be we could have a dual reload handling team, so we'd have maybe 10 people in here.
In peacetime, they still blow air through the tubes to keep them ready. They let me do it.
Shooting tube 4 in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, and the bunks? Rooms all across the 3 levels of the Pasadena. Not spacious, but comfortable and functional. If you close your eyes, it's not claustrophobic. Dan Cummins, WTOL 11 in Norfolk, Virginia. But the highlight of my week with the Navy came early afternoon on Thursday. We flew in an Osprey, which is a combo airplane and helicopter. Now, way out to sea to find the Navy's only aircraft carrier that's either not deployed around the world or back at base. The USS George H.W. Bush, my home for the next 24 hours, over 3 football fields long. About 100 miles off the East Coast, the USS George H.W. Bush is out on a training mission, one of the U.S. Navy's 11 carriers. New people on the crew after a year of maintenance and modernization. It was commissioned in 2011. This is the back end of the ship, called the fantail. You can see a freighter over here in the water. Actually, we're not alone at all out here, but take a look, the best view right here of looking at the Atlantic Ocean.
This young lady here and this young man here in blue are called elevator operators, EOs, we call them. It's their job to manage the Ouija board for me so I know what's going on the flight deck. These templates you guys see on here on the Ouija board are scaled to the flight deck. If they fit on the spot here on the Ouija board, they will fit out on the flight deck. Okay, so they're precise. We have various pinology on them. We call them pinology. These little pins that you see and the nuts that you see are indications of what the status is of that jet. These green pins that you see here are indications that these are our first go aircraft. They're going to go on time.
This is like a floating city without the air wing, about 3,000 sailors. Mess hall throughout the ship. There's a barber shop, a chapel, a library. The bay also serves as gym and rec area. This is Aaliyah Payton from Cleveland. Nixie Control it's called. What is that?
So I'm a STG, which stands for a sonar technician. So my job is to find submarines that are in the water. And here on the carrier, I also do a lot of maintenance.
Her submarine detection system still being updated. There are other duties to do. But a floating airport on training attracts pilots from all over, from coast to coast. Air Force, Marines, Navy. A new generation of younger pilots needing to certify for carriers, taking off on the catapult, and sticking the landing.
Any great American who wants to step up and serve their country gets me super excited. So I think in general, everybody is pretty much the same. It's just somebody who looks forward to being a little bit of an athlete in terms of getting into a jet and being able to move it around. Also has some mental toughness to come out here at sea. And but no, the next generation is absolutely awesome.
Oh, well, they're amazing, right? They are young Americans. You know, people express doubt about the younger generation. I'll tell you, they're absolutely awesome. The average age on our ship is in the lower 20s. Most of our sailors are on their first tour, so their first commitment with the Navy. Many of them are on their first workup cycle, their first ship. We're all learning together as we go, but they show up every day. They're dedicated. They learn their job, and they're excited and they're proud to do it.
Then there's night takeoffs and landings too. Nearly 24 hours a day, the flight deck is active on the George H.W. Bush. We flew back to Norfolk Friday afternoon. I didn't sleep much at all on the aircraft carrier. Too noisy between the top deck launching planes and landing them till 2 a.m. to qualify pilots for carrier duty. And a 3:45 a.m. announcement for all sailors: this is a drill. There's a fire in the reactor room. This is a drill. Respond accordingly. Then they'd repeat the announcement 10 minutes later. Chalk it up as life on the aircraft carrier, the George H.W. Bush. Oh, and the ship is 16 stories high, so no matter where you go, you're climbing stairs or going downstairs. Whipped me into shape, that's for sure. I think I lost a few pounds during my deployment in the United States Navy. To wrap it up, Sailor for a Day was the most exciting, enjoyable experience of my long TV career. It was hard to take that uniform off when it was all over and done with. My thanks to the United States Navy for giving me a chance of a lifetime, and thanks to the young men and women who serve our country so well so we can sleep at night. For WTOL 11+, I'm Dan Cummins.